Hi, I'm Daniel, or you'll also see me as Creo on the XLR forums. I'm the main developer on XLR, which is available as a VR game on Steam Early Access. And today I just want to talk a little bit about the way that we worked around some of the limitations with the Vive controllers. They're great controllers, but there's not very many buttons on them. So I know that if you are watching this, you've probably already seen the Vive controllers, but just for the sake of completeness, I just want to show them real briefly here. So this is the Vive controller right here. It's got this touchpad that my index finger is on right there, and we can track the position of your finger on this, and we can also, track if you touch the button, if you push it down physically. And there's this right here on the top, right there. There's a they call it the application button. Games can use this for whatever they want. And then here above the light, we've got the Steam button or the system button that opens the Steam overlay in VR. So we can't really use that for anything in game. And then on the other side here, we've got the trigger, and we've got two grip buttons right here. But these two grip buttons both act as the same button together. So if I press this one or I press this one, it doesn't matter which one I press. It's just one button. So those are the buttons we've got on the Vive controller. We've got pretty much 1, 2, 3, and 4 buttons. Plus we can track where your finger is on the touchpad. So that's about it. And now that I've got that out of the way, I'm gonna jump into the game here, and I'm gonna show you what we did with those buttons in XLR. All right. See, I think I probably got my controllers swapped. There we go. Okay, so these are just a couple of our guns in XLR, but what I want to show you is having to do with teleportation in XLR. So when you're out in the battlefield in XLR, we needed a way to be able to move the user around. If you don't already know, you can't just. I've got this whole room that I can walk around in VR, but I can't just move a player around like you would in a first-person shooter, like with a gamepad. Because if I did that, like I've got this touchpad so you might think, why can't you just move the user around on the field based on where their thumb is on the touchpad? Use that as kind of like an analog input. But the problem with doing that is when you move a user around like that without them actually moving themselves, it makes a lot of people nauseous. So we didn't want to do that. So what we ended up doing so we knew we needed a teleportation mechanic. So one of the first things we did to kind of allow the user to do that, because we knew we already wanted to use some of these other buttons on the controllers for other things. So we came up with this tool that we've been calling the Omni tool here. Here it is. I'm going to try to keep. I may have trouble remembering, but I'm going to try to keep these controllers up high. They show up in my field of view down here, but it's probably hard for you to see them on the video. So hopefully, sorry if I don't keep them up here. Hopefully I will. So this Omni tool here, it's got this little laser pointer that comes out of it. And so what we were doing was, when you wanted to teleport somewhere on the battlefield, you would just point that where you want to go, pull the trigger, and then you would go there. Pretty simple. The problem that we had, though, was it just really was taking you out of the action of the game. So just to give you an example, so if I'm out on the battlefield and I'm shooting some bad guys, then what I have to do is I have to shoot, then remember which holster is my Omni tool in. Maybe I have to look down and see, grab it, bring it up, teleport, bring it back down, grab my gun back, and then get back into the action of shooting. So it just was really taking you out of the action of the game, which we didn't want. So as we were kind of thinking about the best way to go about this, Vox actually made a suggestion. What if we didn't use the Omni tool at all for teleportation, and we just allowed you to turn the gun sideways to teleport? And that's actually what we ended up doing. You can see the teleporter right there. So it's actually there's a teleporter on your hand. We don't show the hand when the gun is out, but that's what it is. And when Vox originally suggested this, before we actually tried implementing it, I told him that it wasn't such a good idea because I like shooting the guns like this sideways sometimes, and if you activate a teleporter there, then that needs to teleport, and you can't make that fire anymore when you're turning it sideways. But Vox is usually right. and he insisted, so we tried it out, and it turned out to be a really great solution. So just to kind of show you how that would work, I can be shooting at the enemy. I can continue shooting with the left hand. I just turn my gun sideways. I can teleport where I want to go, and I can stay in the action the whole time. So that's that's the way we overcame the limitation of the limited number of buttons on the Vive controllers for activating teleportation, which is something you need to do all the time. So there's one other thing that I want to show you real quick. In that, another thing that you need to do all the time is access items in your inventory. So what we did for that was we added these holsters. So I've got 2 holsters down here, one at each side of my waist, and I can real easily swap items out there. But that's only 4 inventory items that I can hold. Two in my holsters and then 2 in my hands. And we knew we needed a lot more inventory capacity than that. So one of our initial thoughts was, let's add like a bandolier across your chest. But maybe I'll go into that a little bit more in more detail in a different video. But that just really wasn't a good solution, at least not right now. We may come back to that later. But what we ended up doing was, we thought, hey, if I'm holding something in my fist and I wanted to reach into my hand and grab it, what would I do in real life? Well, I would turn my hand palm up and grab it out of my hand, and then turn my wrist back down. So that's what we've done with our inventory system. So I can, drop all of my items in here. I think I've got another gun here. There it is. I can just drop all of my items right into there, into my inventory, by just opening my wrist. So on the one side we've got the teleporters, and then on the other side, when you open your wrist the other way, Spider-Man mode, you've got this inventory system, and you notice you've got it in both hands. So this way I can grab both guns easily. So I can just grab this one and then grab, oops, that is a dummy model for a ammunition magazine for that sniper rifle there. Yeah, so I can grab the other pistol just like that. I can drop them back in. I can grab my identity if I need it. I can grab the pistol. I want both pistols. So there we have it. Flip your wrist this way. Flip your wrist that way. We're trying to make use of as much of the that way we're able to make use of gestures that the user makes without having to resort to using convoluted systems with buttons on the controllers. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.